Tonight on News 5 Live, were Belizean police officers helping to offload narco plane? The Commissioner of Police responds. COVID boosters may become as regular as flu shots. And young people take center stage today at COP26. Details of these stories and more coming up in tonight's newscast.
Imagine going through your entire day without the burden and risk of carrying cash on you. Belize's shift to digital wallets has begun with eCash. We can now skip the cash when collecting money or paying for our essentials, all while using a fast, easy, and secure platform. Simply add funds to your wallet via bank transfer or at an agent, and you're good to go. You will be able to make quick, easy payments simply by scanning QR codes. And best of all, it all happens just like that. Payments are as easy as clicking a link online or scanning a QR code. Download the eCash app from the Google Play and Apple App Store today and take your first step into a cashless lifestyle. The future is here with eCash. For more information, visit www.e-cash.com or contact us via WhatsApp at 613-0257 to find out more.
Watch The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings of the First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. exclusively on Channel 5 Belize. The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings every Sunday at 8 a.m. on Channel 5 Belize.
Bundle the fastest, most reliable, unlimited broadband in Belize with your prepaid or postpaid mobile plan or Netflix. You can bundle your broadband with your prepaid and enjoy 50% off all national calls, plus get SMS and data. Paid plans? Then bundle with any speed and pay only $25 extra monthly to enjoy unlimited smart-to-smart calls, plus 500 minutes, plus 6,300 megabytes of data. Stream unlimited HD movies and TV shows with our broadband, plus the Netflix add-on for only $30 monthly, and enjoy streaming on your laptop, TV, phone, or tablet. Visit a smart showroom near you to sign up or upgrade to the bundle that's right for you. Smart, bringing people together.
Hey, here you go. You should be proud there, and don't worry about those who don't know better. You're doing a wonderful job making sure the baby gets the food he needs.
Don't be ashamed to feed your baby with the best food. Breast milk has all the nutrients that a baby needs to grow. This is a message from UNICEF and the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Beep disinfectant spray is certified by a U.S. EPA compliant lab to kill the coronavirus that causes COVID-19. Beep for a happy, healthy home.
How can we support the emotional well-being of older adults during COVID-19? During the COVID-19 pandemic, and particularly while in quarantine, individuals, including older adults, may become more anxious, angry, stressed, agitated, or withdrawn, especially those who need healthcare assistance or have cognitive decline or dementia. Here are 4 strategies that can help you in supporting an older adult during this difficult time. 1. Communicate information and listen. Present with accurate, simple, and accessible information and facts about the COVID-19 outbreak, its progression, treatment, and effective strategies to prevent infection. Listen patiently to their needs and concerns. For older people with mild cognitive impairment or early stages of dementia, inform them of what is happening within their capacity and provide support to ease their anxiety and stress. 2. Promote positive mental and emotional health. Provide access to available mental health and psychosocial support services, also known as MHPSS services, for older adults and communicate when and how they can access them. Help older people keep regular routines and schedules as much as possible. You can also help them create new ones, including regular exercising, cleaning, daily chores, singing, painting, or other activities. Facilitate regular communication between older adults and their friends and families. 3. Help with medical needs. Make sure that older adults have at least up to 1 month of all the regular medicines that they may require. Explain how to use protective devices in a clear, concise way. Always be respectful and patient. 4. Assist with daily activities. Provide older people with details related to how and where they can get practical help if needed, like calling a taxi, dropping off supplies, having groceries delivered, and requesting medical care, as well as information on any locally available social support programs and services. For more information, consult the webpage of the Pan American Health Organization, www.paho.org/coronavirus.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Friday, November 5th. I am Sabrina Daly. A sizable haul of cocaine was confiscated by local law enforcement officers when a twin-engine aircraft landed on the southern highway near Bladen Village on Thursday night. The last time that stretch of road was used as a runway for a drug plane landing was in November 2010, when several police officers were arrested for their purported involvement in the landing. Last night was eerily familiar as a Piper Cheyenne touched down in that location and was met by a team of police officers who were not on duty. In fact, it is believed that they were there to assist in the unloading of the illicit cargo. This evening, 2 policemen are in custody and a third is being sought in connection with the overnight landing. Their arrest succeeded a shootout with fellow officers from Intermediate Southern Formation who responded to the scene. We begin our coverage of the latest drug plane landing with a report from News 5's Isani Catano.
22 bales of cocaine, a cache of high-powered assault rifles, an aircraft in the middle of the Southern Highway, and a daring firefight between responding officers and a team of heavily armed men. That's the scene that played out overnight when a drug plane touched down near Bladen, Toledo District, around 9:30 p.m. on Thursday.
Based on that information obtained, a team of 4 police officers from Intermediate Southern Formation were deployed to the location. Upon arrival there, they saw the plane on ground, vehicles and persons around, which would indicate that cargoes was being unloaded from the plane. The 4 police officers attempted to engage the traffickers, and the number of persons who were involved in this unloading was around 15 to 20 persons, and we only had 4 police officers.
Despite being outnumbered and outgunned, the lawmen did their best to thwart the illegal operation that was happening in plain view. Not far away, the Piper Cheyenne was being offloaded as the officers looked on from their retreat.
Nonetheless, these officers were brave enough and attempted to engage these traffickers, and they subsequently came under heavy fire. Despite that, the officers maintained position and withdrew a bit, but still put themselves in a position where they could have seen what was taking place. Moments later, a white Toyota pickup truck was seen leaving the landing site, carrying what we believe was a cargo from the plane heading towards Punta Gorda town. Based on that, we deployed a team of police officers and elements of the Belize Defense Force to go and mount a checkpoint on the southern highway going to Punta Gorda town.
The vehicle in question, along with 2 occupants, was subsequently intercepted further down the highway. While it was not carrying any of the shipment that was discharged from the aircraft, a sweep of the general vicinity turned up a significant quantity of cocaine.
We suspected more or less where they may have taken the cargo. And again, between myself and Mr. Greenwich, who was on the grounds, we communicated and coordinated that searches be conducted in 2 particular areas. Thankfully, the search yielded 22 bales of cocaine, and just moments ago, we came across another 2 bales or 3 bales. So that will bring us to a total of 25 bales. Each bale, from what we're seeing now, because we have not counted and weighed the substance, contained 30 bricks.
It comes as no surprise that several police officers were involved in the landing and offloading of the drug plane. The firefight that ensued was presumably an exchange of gunfire between fellow policemen. Fortunately, no one was injured.
We also conducted search of a white Nissan Rogue, which was left on the scene by the plane. And inside that Nissan Rogue, we found 5 assault rifles. One of the rifles we have identified to be that which was stolen from the police station in Sokots during a burglary. The other 4 are not known to us, but we have those in custody along with 17 magazines, each containing 30 rounds.
A black sports utility vehicle belonging to Sergeant George Ferguson was found on the scene, along with an arsenal of weapons.
We recognize the vehicle to be a vehicle that was used by Sergeant Ferguson, who is assigned to Operations Office in Belmopan. And so inside the vehicle, we also found some documents which contain or which bears the name of Sergeant Ferguson. So we know for a fact that based on what we have found on the scene, police officers are involved in this latest plane landing. We believe that other than Sergeant Ferguson, that there may be 2 other police officers involved. We currently have those 2 police officers in custody, and we're still seeking Sergeant Ferguson.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
Tonight, the Belize Police Department is tasked with investigating its own, as it is believed that a trio of officers was directly involved with the landing and discharging of the aircraft. The quantity of drugs that was seized in southern Belize is under heavy police guard, as a probe is underway to determine the extent of the collusion. But there are also commendations for the bravery of the 4 officers from Intermediate Southern Formation who attempted to intercept the drug runners. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams shares additional details.
Our investigation into this matter continues. At this time, we are in the process of processing the drugs and processing those persons who are in custody, trying to tie the pieces together with a view to ensure that we can levy charges against those who are responsible for this plane landing. I have to commend those 4 officers in particular who were the first on the scene and who, despite being under heavy power and being outmanned, they were still able to try and make an interception. And again, the team that responded in support of them from Dangriga and Independence again, they too helped tremendously in ensuring that we were able to sterilize the area until additional backup arrived. While we do celebrate the fact that we were able to intercept this load, there is also the disappointment to have found out that police officers are involved. That is extremely disheartening and disappointing. And I want to assure the public that I am going to leave no stone unturned to make sure that those police officers who are implicated, that they are dealt with to the full extent of the law. We are not going to cover up or condone their behavior. They put themselves in a certain position. They will face the consequences of their action.
Among the officers in the police custody is the bodyguard assigned to the Director of Public Prosecutions. According to Compal Williams, the tribunal process has seen the dismissal of a number of officers who have run afoul of the law. It is unclear what the fate of the suspected officers will be once they go before the tribunal.
We do have the, it's not a driver, but per se the bodyguard of, like you said, a prominent member of our society out there. And again, I do not want us to try and impute his conduct to that person. We are doing the investigation, trying to put the pieces together so that we can see if we'll be able to get the evidence to charge them. But I can tell you that those 2 police officers were caught this morning coming from the area where the plane landed. And we know for a fact that they are very close associates of Sergeant Ferguson. Yes, police officers are people like you and I. They are amenable to the weaknesses of society. And so those who fall trap to the weaknesses of society and allow themselves to be recruited by drug traffickers, I say shame on them. But I can assure you, me, so long as I am the commissioner, I am not going to tolerate any such conduct in any way, shape, or form. Once they manifest themselves, I am going to cut their neck without any hesitation. I can tell you that over the past few weeks, we have again dismissed a number of officers, and it goes to show that this administration is not in the habit of shielding or condoning the indisciplined behavior of police officers. I can tell you that Corporal Martinez, who was involved in the fatal shooting of Ladin Gillett, he has been dismissed via our tribunal process. I can tell you that Corporal PC Canton, who was involved in drug trafficking, he has been dismissed by way of the tribunal process. I can tell you that WPC Brown, who was suspected of the fatal shooting of Farid Ahmad, she have been convicted in tribunal and dismissed.
In neighboring Guatemala, several law enforcement officers have also been arrested for aiding the landing and offloading of a drug plane that touched down overnight in Petén. The involvement of police officers in drug trafficking activity is not unique to Belize, says Compal Williams.
DEA agencies have been implicated for drug trafficking and arrested for drug trafficking. Anywhere in the world you go, members of the drug unit have been implicated. If a matter of fact, even in Belize, we had changed members of our drug unit because of the fact that we got information they were involved. In Mexico, anywhere you go, don't make this seem like it is unique to Belize, brother. Calm down, come down to earth, Jews.
Coming up, scholarships for aspiring doctors when we talk to some of the recipients when we return.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "As for me, I will see your face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake in your likeness." The greatest thing about you is not what you have been, what you are, but what you're going to be. In Genesis 1:26, God said, "Let us make man in our image after our likeness." So God created man in His own image. God gave you a visible body that you could reveal the invisible God in all of His likeness. It is obvious to me that most people are not there yet, but the good news is that God has not given up on you. The Apostle Paul said, "He which hath begun a good work in you will perform it unto the day of Jesus Christ." The Apostle John makes it even more clear when he says, "Behold what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. It doth not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when He shall appear, we shall be like Him, for we shall see Him as He is. And every man that hath this hope in Him purifieth himself even as he is pure." Our children in the church say it best, "He's still working on me to make me what I need to be." It took Him just a week to make the moon and the stars, the sun and the earth, and Jupiter and Mars. How loving and patient He must be, 'cause He's still working on me. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Following the COVID-19 vaccination, some people may experience side effects such as soreness at the injection site, chills, nausea, body aches, or a fever. But these symptoms go away after a few days. These side effects are a result of your immune system responding to the vaccine and are not a sign that you are sick with COVID-19. The COVID-19 vaccines will not give you COVID. When you receive your vaccine, the health worker will advise you what to take if you are experiencing any of these side effects. Remember, these mild side effects cannot compare to you not being able to share memorable moments with your family and friends if you fall gravely ill from COVID. Vaccines bring us closer.
So I'm gonna wonder if by chance I could get your number. Digit. Nice.
Of course. You have digital, right?
Yeah. Of course.
The truth is, your credit lasts way longer with Digi. Like if you top up with like $30, that could last you 90 days. With the other guys, that must save 60. Then with the other guys, you have to use all of your good prime credit before you even touch your bonus credit. But with Digi, you could use your bonus credit before you even touch your prime credit. Like, what are the point to have free credit if you can't use it how you want? So, what are your number?
Just give me one moment.
The truth is, only Digi offers nationwide LTE coverage, fastest mobile data speeds, and the best call quality.
government of Belize and the Nature Conservancy today announced the finalization of its debt conversion agreement. The agreement will see hundreds of millions of dollars in savings and investments for marine conservancy in Belize. Announcements of the agreement being forged ahead of COP26 in Glasgow, Scotland, set the stage for Belize's officials currently at the conference. As world leaders seek to exhilarate their efforts towards the fight against climate change, Belize is standing out, a large part due to its conservation agreement with TNC. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
It is getting Belize a lot of attention at COP26 in Glasgow, Scotland.
I will tell you that really Belize is the blue golden child at COP26. The blue golden child at COP26. I think we need to realize that everybody wants to hear what's happening in Belize.
Belize's renewed commitment to protect its coast and marine ecosystem is backed by the Blue Bond Initiative, a financial debt relief program for marine conservation developed by the Nature Conservancy.
We as conservationists have thought for so long, well, ecotourism is the best. It's amazing. You're preserving nature. You get people to come and be educated about nature. It's great until you have a global pandemic. And then it's not a great choice for your economic model if that's all you have. So what we're seeing and trying to help in Belize and other countries is a model where we can, as Prime Minister Briceño said, take some of that debt burden and transition it into a conservation win.
The government of Belize and TNC today announced they have finalized the agreement. The transaction announced today restructures $550 million of Belize's debt, leading to $250 million in debt reduction, $200 million in savings, and $180 million in funding for conservation.
We're paying them off at a substantial discount. And by doing that, we are having, I believe it's one of the first that we've got, probably, Jen, correct me if I'm wrong here, where a country is negotiating debt forgiveness, but also getting funding for conservation.
The agreement is backed up by a $600 million political risk insurance from the DFC that covers both the loan principal and interest. Both government and non-governmental organizations in marine protection will be eligible to apply for funds through an established conservation fund for Belize.
By recuperating and consolidating our natural places and ecosystems, we can secure productive and sustainable fisheries, grow our nature-based tourism sector, and strengthen our natural resilience to climate change.
COP26's Blue Golden Child laid the foundation ahead of the event through its Blue Bond efforts to attract further funding towards its national marine conservation efforts.
Little did I know a year ago when we got elected, we'll be working on something like this.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
36 aspiring doctors received scholarships today to begin pursuing their goals. The opportunity was made possible for them through collaboration between the Belmopan City Council and American Northwest University. It's a unique effort that will benefit students even outside Belmopan proper. Marian Ali was on hand and filed this report.
In 6 years' time, these 36 students will be enlisted in Belize's healthcare system. Today, they are the proud recipients of scholarships to take up their favorite area of study in the medical profession. They were required to submit their credentials to be considered for their award. Among the key components was academic excellence. Christopher Bowen has his eyes on the nation's only referral public hospital when he completes his course.
This is a general medicine program, so I hope that I can do the 6 years, and at completion I'll be a medical doctor, hopefully. That's the goal. My plan is to work here in Belize. I want to work at the KHMH hospital. I know there's a high demand there for doctors, and Belize is, have an even higher demand of necessitous people. I want to do a lot when it comes to medicine in Belize. There's a few non-profit organizations, such as the palliative care, the Cancer Society and stuff like that, that I'm really interested in working along.
For Nailea Novello, her goal is to continue even further into a special field of study, but she'll have to choose between neurosurgery and surgeries on the upper body.
Cardiothoracic is a doctor that specializes in operating either the thorax, the lungs, the heart, everything from here to here. And then for neuro is mostly the brain, the spine, our nervous system then. That's
so both of them?
Yes. No, I want to specialize either one of them.
Okay, so what will determine which one you select?
In the clinical rotation, which one I fall in love more, because two of them are really challenging surgeries.
The student's opportunity is the brainchild of Belmopan Mayor Sharon Palacio, who told News 5 that she decided to engage the top brass of the university, which also has a facility in Belmopan.
We spent countless hours finalizing what we wanted, and I must say that myself as mayor, I advocated for the students to receive full scholarships, and so we got about 10 or 12 full scholarships, and all others 90% funding. We also believe in sharing. I'm a part of the Mayor's Association, and so I represent countrywide. And I must say I'm very excited, and having such a number of scholarships, it is not common.
What's also uncommon is that Palacio has to work along with her daughter, Mystery Furtado, who is the CEO of the university, to see the initiative come to fruition.
I don't believe that our relation as my mother has anything to do with this role. I have been living in Canada for quite a few years now, and I was contacted directly by the university. I went through an extensive interview process. In her role, she was able to collaborate with the American Northwest University and request much needed scholarships so that we can start to train our own people inside our country. So we're doing 4 years here in Belize, and the last 2 years of, let's say, internship will be done abroad. But we are hoping that by then we're able to provide those interns here in Belize so that they don't have to travel at all. But the exposure to connect with our bigger university in the States is for sure a must.
10 of the scholars will receive 100% of funding, while the remaining 30 will get 90% sponsorship. Collectively, the scholarships over the 6-year period are worth around $6 million. Reporting for News 5, Marian Ali.
8 months ago, when she inherited the Belmopan City Council, Mayor Sharon Palacio indicated that the council was financially challenged and had huge debts. We got the chance to ask her today about the financial status of the council now. She said they are trying to come up with creative ideas to bring in revenue.
Our council inherited zero. We inherited, and I wouldn't be able to give you all the numbers, but the figures are exorbitant. We owe so much, but we've been able to communicate with persons that we owe, companies, and I think that they're very sympathetic in most cases, but those bills will not be raised. It is there. I feel much more comfortable as I stand here in front of you, though, because I have a competent city administrator. Her name is Mrs. Charlene Julian. I begged her to come along with me because for me to excel, I need the right team. And she has a wealth of knowledge. She comes from the business world, and we work together at the University of Belize. So as I speak with you, she's looking at the bonds. She's engaging all these persons, all these companies that we owe. And I am sure that the 3 years that we have assigned to us, we will not get there because what we have is outrageous. We have loans that I keep on saying they were prostituted, whereby you have other councils receiving their subvention. Belmopan City Council receives nothing, and there's no sympathy. So we are creative, and we are not scared. So as time goes by, for example, we are tasking all these heads of departments to be creative and come with some business opportunities whereby We should not only be paying out these exorbitant salaries, but also making industry, doing something that the council could be earning, bringing in monies.
According to Mayor Palacio, the council also took a loss when it had to give up revenues from the spaces it once rented to vendors near the center of Belmopan. Those public spaces are now being used by the Ministry of Health as COVID testing sites. There was some pushback initially, but now Mayor Palacio said it's all part of an effort for the greater good.
There was a controversy because they heard that we were relocating them to the Devon Beaton Field, but the residents came up in arms, and I remember vividly what happened the last time. So I quickly sat with my city administrator and my finance manager, and we decided we were deploying them to showgrounds. That was a no-no. Nobody wants to go to showgrounds. So at the end, they all went to the Zabanese marketplace, and I haven't heard a word of complaint. And the COVID, because we had to accommodate the testings for COVID, yeah. So we've given up our civic center, we've given up that parking where the market was, and all that is, we're losing income, but we call it collaboration.
After the break, some important information on booster shots and if kids will need them too. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
I visited the land of Serbia, a great many miles away. I ascended the Mount Everest few people have conquered. I roared on the snow-covered Antarctic and Arctic. I rolled swiftly across the vast, untamed desert. Ling Long Tire conquers every corner of the world.
Distributed by Enrique Martinez and Sons Limited, 2 miles Philip Golson Highway, Belize City.
According to the World Health Organization, cancer is the second leading cause of death globally, or 1 in 6 deaths in the past years. Are you aware that breast cancer occupies the first place of incidence as well as the highest mortality rate? As it relates to Belize, it is approximated that 49.9% of cancer patients suffer from breast cancer and 12.3% will die from this disease. Breast cancer can be treated when detected early. We encourage self-examination, but also plan your clinical breast exam with your doctor or at any hospital or clinic providing this service.
The WHO states that prostate cancer is the 4th most common cancer overall and the 2nd most common cancer in men. Prostate cancer deaths in Belize reach 42, or 2.3% of total deaths. This cancer can be asymptomatic at the early stages and requires early active surveillance. All men over 40 should start getting a prostate test and a prostate cancer screening.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness and the Government of Belize have designated October as Cancer Awareness Month.
This disease is hurting our families and communities.
We need to join hands and raise our voices for hope for all the fighters, peace for all the survivors, and prayers for the fallen.
And comfort for the families and friends of people diagnosed with cancer.
This will sensitize our Belizean people to recognize the importance of a healthy lifestyle, early screening, and detection.
As a country, we are stronger than cancer.
Have you ever wondered how to tell if someone is marriage material? Do you ever wish there was more to your marriage?
Maybe you've asked yourself, how do I raise my kids the way God wants me to? Join us for our new series, Mixtape. We'll play through how God wants us to love the people in our lives one track at a time. Get ready to crank up the volume and tune in for advice God gives us in the areas that matter most.
If you are ailing due to a chronic disease and are left permanently invalid before retirement age, you may want to check if you qualify to receive invalidity benefit. The invalidity benefit exists for persons who are unable to continue working due to permanent illness. To qualify, you must be under 60 years old, must be sick for 26 consecutive weeks and certified to be medically unable to perform any type of work, must have at least 5 years of paid SSB contributions and at least 5 paid within the 3 months leading up to your illness. If you do not qualify for the invalidity pension, you may be eligible for the invalidity grant. Want to know more about invalidity benefit? Visit our website or contact any of our offices to have someone assist you. Also, be sure to visit our Facebook page and give us a like to stay informed. Social Security Board. Safeguarding you, your family, your future.
We have been a partner with SMART for over 10 plus years. We have a full SMART plan we use as our major driver for our business. We have a service that rolls over in that if you call one and it is busy, it rolls over to the next line. So once you call us, you can get us at any time. Before we got this SMART service, we were paying upwards of nearly $2,000 in phone bills. Since we've had our SMART service, we pay an average of about $600. So we've had tremendous saving, more than 50%. For the businesses, if you want to save money, switch to SMART because it is far more cost effective and the service is excellent.
SMART continues to be innovative in bringing new technology and meaningful savings during these challenging times to businesses across Belize. Sign up for our VoIP technology or broadband packages and save more.
Last week, Cabinet approved the administering of a third shot of COVID-19 vaccine, known as a booster shot, for persons who have already taken 2 doses of vaccine. As science reveals, the antibodies produced by the vaccine decreases over a period of time. A third shot is recommended as the adequate response to that reduction. But does protection end at a third shot? Internist Dr. Fernando Cuellar told us via Zoom that studies suggest extended protection may require annual shots throughout an individual's lifetime.
It's not a doing of us in Belize. No? We follow international science, international recommendation. And we know that maybe for a couple of months now, we've been hearing about boosters. And, it has come to us, and we as a country, as the medical community in the country, are now recommending that we get a booster shot. The reason being is that the studies have shown that the antibodies that one developed, the antibodies which are like the little fighting soldiers against the virus, over time decreases, the numbers decrease. So you become more vulnerable, you become less protected. So you need a booster. You need to juice it up again. You need to juice up your immune system, so to speak, so that your antibodies can come up to level again. And that, generally speaking, is around 6 months after your second vaccination shot. Definitely, this is looking like every year we have to do shots. Just like how we have the flu vaccine, pretty much thinking, I'm of the opinion that every year we have to do one coronavirus shot to help us be immune against the virus. No?
So you're basically saying that this is not just a third shot, but there may be a need for a 4th, 5th, 6th, and who knows how many shots.
Exactly. And I think it's best for us to start mentioning this so that to avoid the questioning when it comes up. But I think you only need 2 or 3. And the science is pointing towards that more than likely perhaps we'll be doing early vaccines. No? so that we can be protected.
How do you separate what the science is saying about antibodies decreasing from the criticism that the vaccine is not as effective as scientists once thought it to be? And it plays into the hands of those who criticize the vaccine in saying not take the experimental shot.
Well, I accept the criticism, and I think it's a valid criticism. I mean, it makes sense that we were telling people to get the vaccine. I don't think, though, we were at any point telling the people that this is the silver bullet, this is the one fix all. It's not experimental, no. It's not experimental. It's just the reality that vaccines are given, and we do need boosters. We need boosters for a lot of different other vaccines too.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness is currently recommending booster shots for high-risk patients. But will the less vulnerable, younger population also be asked to take boosters? News 5's Paul Lopez asked Dr. Cuellar about this.
We're not sure yet, Paul. Honestly, we're not sure yet, okay? We have just basically come out of the certainty of the age group between 12 and 18. And right now we are looking at the 5 to 12. That 5 to 12, we are not quite sure of what we'll be recommending, no? And we are still not completely over figuring if the younger people, the 12-year-olds, will need a booster shot, no? The only studies, and these are science-based studies, no? And as the data come out, then we'll be able to recommend to people.
The Light Up Belize project, a partnership between the government and the European Union, will begin bringing electricity to rural communities in Belize still lacking this crucial service. The project was officially launched on Thursday evening in Belize City. Those villages scheduled to receive power will be connected to hybrid solar diesel-powered electricity mini-grids by Belize Electricity Limited over the course of the next 3 years. The Light Up Belize project will also see the introduction of an electric mobility pilot program and technical support. All this is being funded by the EU's 11th EDF financing agreement with Belize. Just ahead, young people making their voices heard in Scotland, and so are some mothers. Dwayne Moody has the interviews from the scene. But first, here's a weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
This weather update is brought to you by SMART. This weather update was brought to you by SMART. Iris Belize is here. No need to visit the Belize Tax Service and stand in long lines. Easily register your business today by visiting www.irisbelize.bts.gov.bz. When registered, Iris Belize allows you to prepare and pay for your tax services all from your fingertips, using your preferred bank, from your office or home. You will be supported with clear communication and prompt response time with a secure system you can trust. Our first 40 registering companies gets a gift for your commitment in being an early user. Iris Belize, effortless, easy and efficient electronic tax services for everyone.
Despite our best efforts, we often let our guards down. Reaching in for hugs and unavoidable encounters expose us to COVID-19, and not knowing our status can be scary. Quality rapid antigen tests, such as ST Biosensor, have provided a quick way to find out our COVID-19 status. And now, with the introduction of the FDA-approved Accula Rapid PCR test, finding out your COVID-19 status using PCR is also quick and easy. The Accula Rapid PCR test delivers results in just 30 minutes to identify patients who are COVID-19 positive. The Accula Rapid PCR test will further strengthen Belize's testing capabilities and benefit Belizeans as we attempt to resume doing the things we love and enjoy. Through quality, reliable tools like the SD-based sensor antigen test, the Accula Rapid PCR test, heroic frontline workers, and responsible government and citizenry, we will beat COVID-19.
Es un hecho. Únicamente con Smart obtienes todo realmente ilimitado. Solo con Smart obtienes datos ilimitados en cualquier momento. Mientras que con el otro proveedor solo son datos dobles los fines de semana. Con datos ilimitados todos los días no hay necesidad de esperar, así que es un hecho que nuestros planes ilimitados superan a la competencia. Por lo tanto, no permita que le digan cómo y cuándo usar sus datos y obtenga llamadas, mensajes de texto y datos ilimitados. Vive la verdadera experiencia de planes ilimitados con Smart. Es un hecho. Haga el cambio y viva Smart.
Day 5 of the COP26 event saw youth and education taking center stage of the discussion, both inside and outside, with protests in the streets of Glasgow. At the Scottish Event campus, where the official meetings were taking place, we found out more about the level of involvement of the youth in the discussions. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports from Scotland.
Climate change affects everyone, despite the conversation being held among world leaders and high-level government officials. Young people make up a large portion of the population vulnerable to the effects of climate change. They too want a seat at the discussion table.
I am here as a youth delegate, and I came to the Conference of Youth, which is like the youth event before the COP. So it is being organized by the International Youth Climate Movement, which is like the official youth constituency of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Being involved in this COP is like an excellent opportunity for develop their professional skills and also about networking, because I am here to connect with other people, other professionals from other parts of the world, other organizations that share, similar interests or similar projects.
Chevening scholar Jason Salgado is a student at the University of East Anglia pursuing a master's degree in climate change and international development. Originally from San Juan Village in Stan Creek, he knows all too well about the effects of climate change.
We are in the south, whereby we are like the heart of the banana industry. So San Juan Copen, we have 3 banana farms that, we depend a lot of it, because let's say more than half of the population in our village depends on directly or indirectly from this industry. So we have had so in the past like so many storms, tropical storm, hurricanes that have just wiped out the entire banana industry, and then then the crisis comes.
Panamanian national Francesca Munoz is also an observer at COP26. While she was unable to join her fellow youth in a protest in central Glasgow, she says that it is important to also have a seat around the discussion table.
There's quite a difference between having a diverse environment and having an inclusive environment. Here at the COP26, yes, we have youth people, we have their own forums and we have their own spaces. However, how really is it diverse in that sense? We have one person among 20 others, and they are barely even heard. I am here today representing the people that are outside right now rioting, and it's because I feel like they are not being heard enough, and I'm trying to find another platform in which I can have our message sent.
Young people are demanding action to protect their future at the COP. COP President Alok Sharma is telling ministers and government leaders that the youth must be made a priority at the COP26 negotiations. Thousands of young people have converged also here on the grounds where their voices are being heard. And from what we understand, 23 countries have made national climate change education pledges, including net zero schools and putting climate at the heart of national curriculums.
But it is very important for us to teach our children. When I was going to school, maybe half of our classes, especially during the summer, were done outside under a tree. And so when they tell you about this tree and about the roots and the trunk and the stem and the branches and the leaves and transpiration and photosynthesis, you are seeing the tree out there and you're witnessing it. It's not only in the class. But we also have to make our students understand, or our young people understand, that nature is here for us. Today for us, tomorrow for them also. So what we do today will affect their lives, so it is very important for them to get involved.
Amongst the members of the Belize delegation in Glasgow is Sumit Betancourt, an employee with the Red Plus project. The technician has also been engaged in the discussions and presentations being made at the Climate Change Conference.
It's an honor being here as part of the Belize delegation and actually fighting for developing countries like Belize, especially Belize, who has always been a steward in terms of environmental conservation, but yet we are the ones feeling the brunt force of climate change impacts. And so our objective here really is to tell the developed nations that it is now time for us to stop talking, it's time for them to live up to their commitment. And so we need to be here, we need to be a part of this session, make ourselves present, make ourselves heard.
So as you've heard, young people are being engaged in the climate change discussion at all levels. Reporting from COP26 in Glasgow, Scotland, Dwayne Moody for News 5.
But what about those who are voiceless? Just outside the Action One hub inside the Scottish Event campus, a group of parents were taking a stand for their children. They are from different countries and made their way to Glasgow so that the voices of their children can also be heard. News 5 spoke to the mothers who are from the Parents for the Future organization. This morning, they presented a letter to the COP26 president regarding air pollution in their countries. They too joined in the youth protests within the city of Glasgow.
So this morning we delivered a letter to Alok Sharma on behalf of millions of parents around the world. So this was a letter that was signed by parents from more than 44 countries, representing millions of parents in lots of groups. So we're delivering it direct to the COP leaders. And our very specific message was asking for a commitment for no new fossil fuel extraction or finance after COP26, because fossil fuels are affecting our children's health today and their planet, the climate for the future.
The idea of this demonstration, we brought this big gray bubble to show something that is usually invisible. That's the air pollution that makes our kids sick and also shortening their lives. So this is a symbol of something that our society, our policymakers are not taking care. Our children are already the innocent victims of all this mess, and they didn't cause it, and they are already the victims.
And air pollution is one of the issues that many parents see as linked to climate change in a way that's affecting our children now. So that's why we as parents are engaging around air pollution and making the connection between air pollution and fossil fuels to engage millions more parents in talking about climate change, but recognizing that the impacts start today.
Up next, we'll have more from COP26 when we come back. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Chef Sean Quillen. I love cooked fish fillet, and I prefer to get my fish straight at the fish market right here at Conchel Bay. But you see, sometimes you come out here and you don't know what you're getting. The fish has no label, it has no patch of skin. But don't worry about it. I am here today to teach you how to avoid fish fraud. When purchasing your fillet, remember to look out for the patch of skin required by law. Or you could tell them by the physical characteristics: long and slender, barracuda; nice white meat, hagfish; the deep bloodline from the bow to the stand, that is jack. When buying in bulk or buying out of a bag, make sure to inspect each fillet individually to avoid what we call in a Creole, pussy in a bag. What a pussy in a bag? Fraud. If that's not the help you, because even for me as a professional chef at this man for 40 years, that's really challenging. All I could tell you is buy from a reputable source or buy it whole. And if all of that's not available to you, just go to fishrighteatright.com and we at Oceana have a fish identification charge. Because guess where you're going here now? We talk about bloodline just now one thing, and that's a snapper, right? Classic snapper. What kind of snapper this?
This is nurse shark.
Nurse shark. Highly illegal. No make they trick you, no make you buy pussy in a bag. Do the right thing. Fish right, eat right.
What is the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine? The Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine is an RNA vaccine that triggers our immune system to develop antibodies against the SARS-CoV-2 virus that causes COVID-19. It helps to reduce hospitalization, severity of the disease, and death. What is the Pfizer vaccine made of, and is it safe? The Pfizer vaccine is made up of mRNA messenger ribonucleic acid, which are molecules that carry the genetic information needed to make proteins, lipid, salts, and sugar. It is safe for persons 12 years and older and does not contain the COVID-19 virus, hence cannot cause infection. Tests have shown that the vaccine is effective against current virus variants. Who should take the Pfizer vaccine? The Pfizer vaccine should be taken by persons 12 years of age and older who do not have severe allergic reaction after a previous dose of vaccine or have not had severe allergic reaction to any ingredient of this vaccine. 2 doses of the vaccine are required 3 weeks apart. If you are between the ages of 12 and 17 years, you are required to present a signed consent form before you are vaccinated. What are the side effects of the Pfizer vaccine? Some common side effects of the Pfizer vaccine are headache, fatigue, muscle pain, fever, chills, and swelling at the injection site. If side effects persist, contact your doctor as soon as possible. Does the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine prevent infection and transmission? No, vaccination alone does not prevent infection and transmission. We are still required to continue to wear masks properly, physically distance, wash and sanitize hands often, practice proper coughing and sneezing hygiene, and avoid crowds.
When something is good and you can save, that makes it even better. Like this guy, he buys Flex bundles using his promo credit. No worries when his primary credit is finished. He gets talk, text, and data for free. Or her, she calls her family internationally with her promo credit. And with data packages so affordable, she even does video calls. Smart continues to offer great deals and affordable promotions. As a small business owner, she saves when she uses her promo credit to call the other guys. All Smart customers enjoy more triple days and knowing they can use their promo credit, which just lasts longer. Smart, bringing people together.
While Climate Change Minister Orlando Habet gave the keynote address at the Belize-led Red Plus event this afternoon at COP26, earlier today he was among a few ministers invited by the University of Glasgow for a forum on nature-based solutions as climate actions. Joining Minister Habet were participating ministers from Costa Rica, Peru, Suriname, and Argentina.
Principally, they were looking at what countries like ours have in place for restoration strategies, basically looking at our policies, and of course our explanation was that Belize traditionally has had now for so many years, now about 60% of its territory covered in forest, and we have over 115, 117 protected areas over the whole country, and including land and sea, and also that many of these protected areas get assistance through the Protected Areas Conservation Trust, which was established from some funding that comes from the tourism sector. And so explaining to them that we have come a long way. basically an agricultural dependent country for many years, and then we shifted into tourism. But because of the impacts of climate change, because of the impacts of humans, the anthropogenic impact on the resources, on our God-given endowment for nature, that we have done some damage, but there is always the opportunity for restoration, notwithstanding the fact that we have done our fair share, and maybe more than our fair share.
Today at the Caracom Pavilion at the conference of the party's 26, the Belize delegation hosted a side event highlighting the REDD+ project in Belize. The United Nations framework to reduce emissions from deforestation and forest degradation aims to curb climate change by incentivizing countries that have put in place significant conservation mechanisms and sustainable management of forests. This enhances the forest carbon stock and can translate into economic opportunities for the country through the concept of carbon credits entailed in Article 6 of the Paris Agreement. During the presentation, Geospatial Monitoring Unit Manager with the Belize Forest Department, Edgar Carrera, shared details as the first phase of the project winds down.
Well, the project is finalizing this year. Nevertheless, we have several outputs from the project. One of the key outputs from the project is the actual results. When I speak about results, it's basically speaking about amount of carbon credit, if you want to call it that way, that Belize has noticed that it's obtained from its work that it's been doing for many years within its forest sector. And that even includes mangroves as well. So definitely one of the key results that Belize has that now can help Belize move forward to actually continue implementing REDD+ in Belize. I think it's important to look at it in terms of benefits because that's where people actually look at it when it comes to different benefits that the forests bring, when it comes to the medicinal benefits, when it comes to the logging benefits, the timber benefits, the food, because I mean when it comes to food we look at wildlife as well, and most importantly are the watersheds when it comes to the water. So definitely, I mean, once people realize the importance of forests, not only within even the agriculture sector or the development sector, it's key because in the long term, the investment that's being made right now is what will keep Belize as is.
The Mexican Embassy in Belize is asking social media users to help them win this year's Reto de Altares competition for Dia de los Muertos. Every year, the Institute of Mexican Abroad organizes a contest between all Mexican embassies and consulates around the world. The winner is chosen by likes and interactions in the altar's photo on the official Institute's Facebook profile. This year, Mexican Embassy in Belize altar is on display at the Mexican Cultural Institute in Belize City and at the Embassy of Mexico in Belmopan. So, if you like what you see, please visit their Facebook page. And that's the news. Stay tuned for the official opening ceremonies of the 15th edition of the Belize International Film Festival. It starts at 7:30 p.m. right here on Channel 5. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.